aspect, how the both of you are doing today. We got season two coming up. Your characters are brothers. Back in season one, the relationship was a bit estranged, but it got better towards the end. How are you approaching for season two?
After you, Steven.
Um, well, I mean, the second season in any TV show is kind of when you go home with the characters. So I just think that we are, this season we were approaching. For me personally, I just said, okay, we've seen Jack be hard-headed and stubborn again and again and again and again. Is that going to be interesting if that's just what we do in the second season? Probably not. So for me, the big thing was just make sure to take stock of, and of course, a lot of it was on the page, but like, okay, what would Jack have done in season one versus what Jack's going to do in season three? And that to me came down to everything: how he stands, how he speaks, what his tone of voice is, how he interacts with people. So I liked being more inclusionary because I get to play with more people, when we're doing scenes. So that's what I was trying to do in the second season.
Yeah, I mean, I said this before, but I always felt like this show is so much more than just a wrestling show. It's about people flawed. Ace since the beginning has been in an identity crisis, and he's trying to find himself as a human being. And I think for the first time ever, you start to see Ace find his path in a way he hasn't before. And similarly, you get to see Jack really step into his own. And that's really exciting because I think that the potential of what this could be on a national level, you see for the first time.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, you see the women just kick absolute ass this season, and really, really lead the charge, which I love to see. So I think that I love this season, and I really think that the audience are going to go nuts for it when they get a chance to see it. You get to see all of these characters in a light you've never seen before.
Awesome. My next one for the both of you. Any challenging scenes y'all had to endure as wrestlers for this season?
Challenging scene as wrestlers.
Yes.
We had to kick the shit out of each other again. So that was challenging. To me, for me personally, the logistics of Jack has to pull off a match with Crystal, and anytime in wrestling when you have two people matching up where one person is significantly bigger than the other person, you can't just do a straightforward match. There has to be some sort of gimmick. And so obviously the gimmick in ours was that it's a ladder match. That's part one. But then the secondary gimmick is Jack's hubris, that he keeps allowing Crystal to get the upper hand on him because he doesn't give her proper credit. So that was challenging, but I think we pulled it off.
How about you, Alexander?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's always been. I mean, every time we do a match, it is just a different level of exhausting. Um,
Yeah.
I have so much respect for the wrestling community. I also think they're all insane, but I respect the shit out of them because it's hard to last 5 minutes in a ring doing this, let alone
Yeah.
a full match. So, as Steven said, when inevitably you're going to see the scene that kind of play itself out again when Jack and Ace butt heads as they normally do. It takes such a toll on your body. And I'm grateful that I have a partner in Steven who's willing to literally go all in. It's a dance at the end of the day, and you can only hope to have somebody as great as Steven is as a partner. And it's been such a wild ride, man. But I will tell you that these matches are no joke. It is without question the most pain I've ever been in doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can imagine. In fact, maybe one day we might get a Dark Side of the Ring episode of your characters.
Totally, man. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I watched that series before I signed on to the show, and I just thought it was so fascinating. And that's kind of, that is sort of the hidden element to this show too, is you see elements of a darker side as well, which I love. I love when that comes out and you get to see the really gritty, kind of unsexy stuff about wrestling and about Ace and Jack and these characters.
Thank the both of you for your time today. Can't wait for the second season to come out.
Hey, you too, man.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
so much.
You're welcome. All right. How all are you doing today? I know all of you are excited for the second season of the show.
Doing all right. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing quite good. Doing good.
I'm good, man.
So I'll get my questions right out the way. How all of you feeling with the storytelling aspect of Hills going into season 2?
Oh man, the writing is incredible, man. You know, leaving off from season 1 and how we left it and where we continuing is just great storytelling, great acting. The monologues are insane. You know, I know Robbie and Trey had several this season. But man, the storytelling is going to be compelling, exciting, and I hope y'all ready.
Yeah, man. For as good as season 1 is, I think season 2 just takes it to another level. I mean, you get to dig in a lot more to like all the different nuance of these relationships, and they did a great job, man. There's a lot to weave together, and but it's a really beautiful story with a lot of stuff to pay attention to, and it was great fun to play all of it, and we think you're really going to enjoy it. We're all real proud. So at least I am. I'm not going to speak for these guys, but I'm pretty proud.
Yeah, so am I, man. I mean, a lot of Mike O'Malley-isms and tongue twisters and all kinds of things, man. It was a fun ride, and even in those readings we had, you know, as a cast, just listening to the story kind of take form was a beautiful thing. So I'm excited as everybody else is.
Yeah, the table read is always a jam, man. You just get to see everybody play and perform and kind of see everybody put it on their feet for the first time, and you get excited to go shoot the next episode, man. So our table reads are actually really fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, heading into season 2, did all of you had to learn a lot of new moves to add to your moveset for your characters?
I mean, you know, it's rooster time, so it's you ain't got to really add to the. My bag is already extended. You know what I'm saying? I got a heavy bag. You know what I mean? It's rooster. I let them answer them. You know.
Yeah, we all knew that's what Alan was going to say. No, I mean the training honestly is one of the best parts of the whole thing, man. You know, there's always new stuff to learn. We've got it like Luke Hawks and all the guys, Brady and all the wrestling team that coach us. Like they always want to do something new, take it further, do a new thing. And so that's a cool thing is like, you're never going to finish learning all of it. And, you know, the coming into the gym and getting to get in and practice and do this stuff is, it's the best part, man. And it shows up in the shots, man. This stuff is great. And we try to, you know, like you always do, you try to take things further the second time around. I think as a whole, we did it. So we're going to enjoy it. And wrestling fans are really going to enjoy that.
Yeah, I agree.
Me too, bro.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot, Rob. You know what I'm saying? That's such colorful commentary.
All right. Robbie, you take the next one. I'll sit down on it, okay?
Well, I'll just direct it to both you and Alan and Rob. So being on the show since season 1, have y'all found a new bound appreciation towards the wrestling industry?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, from the minute I walked through those doors, bro, it was like I had never been into wrestling, and to see these guys work and the artistry to it and the theater of it was like a side of it that I had no idea about. And then you add in the physical, like, yeah, you know, these things are kind of staged and that kind of thing, but still, bro, like these dudes are getting hurt and they're throwing each other through tables. And I mean, I had a scene that they were gonna have me throw Alan through a table, but he had them scrap it from the script. So
that's what you're gonna run with. Yeah, I told them to run with 2 tables because I said 2 tables. They didn't want to. I said if we're not gonna go all the way, then
right.
Go 2 tables. 1 table has been done before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but man, mad respect for the wrestling world and you know, getting to be in a ring with CM Punk and to see him in the ring is one of those things that's really amazing to watch.
Yeah, doing the show, you gain a lot of respect for the wrestlers, as you know, even though we're just doing choreographed or set pieces of wrestling, you can just imagine having to go through a whole hour match. So it's definitely respect to all of the wrestlers out there as we, you know, look to tell their story on the independent level of the struggle or on the rise of these wrestlers with dreams.
Yeah, there was one sequence in particular I won't talk about that but you know, CM Punk is of course in the show and he's terrific and hilarious, but there's a sequence that involves him and you'll catch in the episode they cut to reactions of all of us watching, and the reactions were all real because like he gets in and we learn our little pieces and all that, and then he comes in and you're like, oh no, that's the professional, that's clearly the guy who does this for a living, and it's sensational. And honestly, like, but then you see the rest of us in our team and the way that they like the work they put in and the work that the whole cast puts in. It's like I still feel like even though we haven't done it as long as he has, like we're respecting what the art of it, and we're paying homage to these people, man, because we see what they do and how they train us, and it deserves respect. It deserves a lot of respect. They put their bodies on the line, and it's so physical. Like you don't realize until you have to do it take after take after take. And we'll walk away and be like, man, these guys do this night after night after night. It is a beating, and for as choreographed as it all might be, it is physically taxing. So we try to really respect that. And I think it comes off really well. So that's it.
Thank all of you for your time today. Can't wait for this wonderful premiere.
Thank you, Julian.
Thank you, brother.
All right. How you doing today, Mary? I know
Good, hanging in.
Yeah,
How
I know
are
it's a
you?
long day for you. I'm
No,
doing
we
quite
just
good.
started. We're good.
Gotcha. Now, how are you approaching your character for this upcoming season of Appeals, especially since your character's on the business side of wrestling and we've seen too many carnies, as they say, run around for the last 50 years or so?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I love where Willie gets to go this season because you're right. She continues to be the sort of business managerial brains of the operation and, wrangling all the idiot men. And she also this season, she gets to sort of become a mentor to Crystal and start a women's division for the promotion. And that's really exciting and fun to play. It's fun to sort of see her. I love all those scenes that I get to do with Kelly. First of all, Kelly's a great actress. And I just think it's interesting to see sort of the generational differences and journey. Like, Willie, on the one hand, she's so excited and alive because she's almost watching her own dreams come true through someone else, through this younger woman. I think Willie wanted to wrestle. Willie wanted to be champ, and it was just another time in a tiny town in Georgia. But I also think there's some sort of poignancy in that. Like there's something sort of sad about those scenes too, for me, which I love. I like the complexity of that.
Given now that in the wrestling industry, we have a lot more women featured, whether if it's on TV segments or longer matches, does this also play into how your story is going to be shown on this season?
Yeah, it's not realistic to think of, women's wrestling is it's so alive and dynamic and people love it. And, I think while this is a tiny town, so it is believable that they, and that they have no financial, cushion. And so it is believable the sort of slow growth into it, but I think they wrote it beautifully, how they sort of stumbled into it, the scene where she says, we can't have her just beating up every one of our guys every week. And we can't have her being beaten up by our guys every week. And then they just realized like, okay, let's get one more woman in, they sort of build it slowly, but I think it's, thank God they did. I think it's both exciting story-wise and also realistic because women's wrestling is everywhere and we can't do a wrestling show without it.
Being that your character is also a business partner, did this really shed into light of former business partners you researched when it comes to this wrestling industry?
I do a lot of just video. I just keep watching and reading anything I can about women managers and valets. And I I love the Stephanie McMahon energy and videos. And I mean, thank God for the internet. I don't know how actors did it before that. Big help. It's a big help.
And my final one for you, since you just mentioned Stephanie, are there other female superstars throughout the whole maybe 50 plus years that really stand out to you?
I mean, Miss Elizabeth, Vicky Guerrero. I mean, I'll watch anyone. I like watching them all. It's incredible, and incredible how they sort of, have evolved. Like if I go way back, and just to sort of see the evolution of like their looks and how much that was a part of it. And then how, I mean, Stephanie McMahon is an incredible wrestler, but and also gorgeous, but now is also like an incredible business person, so it's just this, to watch the evolution of women in wrestling is fun.
Awesome.
Fascinating.
Thank you so much for your time, Mary. Can't wait for this season to come out.
Thank you.
You are welcome.